All right. I want to say all praises and glory is given to Yahweh,
How
Bahashem, Yahweh Shai.
Shai.
Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone, the men who basically teach the Bible the most accurate out of all the so-called Bible scholars upon the earth. And honors to you brothers out there who labor in true sincerity, all right, faith to the best of your abilities in delivering this word of the Most High, Lord willing, to the elect, that they may be taught up in the Spirit for their salvation. We're going to go ahead and touch on this sit-down lesson that's concerning the famine of the word, all right? It's concerning the famine of the word and what was recently carried out by the U.S. government, really the Illuminati with the elites of Esau when it comes to the technicality and control over the internet, the worldwide internet, you know. They say that now legally the internet is in hands of this organization who's basically, as we're going to touch on, is a non-profit organization. And since it's non-profit, it's more than one, like the brother brought it to my attention, a part of that 501c3 contract agreement. Okay, if you don't know what the 501c3 contract is, it's basically where you are provided by the government a large substantial amount of money to basically have rules and regulations among your group or wherever it is, a business, a company, a so-called religious based organization, and you do whatever according to the guidelines they want you to do. So let's say you're within a Christian church and have a 501c3 charter, or you're even within that Islam bullshit and you have a 501c3 charter. Well, you have to teach whatever doctrine that basically the government tells you to teach. You have to do the teachings of their selection. All right. So guess what? It's the same thing for this company that basically has control, that garner control and manipulation over the whole entire internet. If they had that 501c3 charter code, which more than likely they do, then they were given basically prerequisites and rules they got to follow by in order to have that control and to basically make money by having that control. Okay? That was a lucrative position on the end of the people who has control over the internet. Whether they're illuminated or not, or whether they're illuminated and they have no clue of what's this going to cause. Once they're finally given the orders to shut down the internet, they don't know what's about to bestow upon them pursuant to the Lord's prophecies, man. All right?
I remembered the story mode in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. One of the characters like started an organization that that governments could buy into, and they'd help protect, or they'd do like the dirty work because they didn't have to apply by like the rules of war like that the UN made. Basically, how ISIS is.
Yeah.
But this organization is the same way. They don't have to abide by giving you the freedom of speech.
Yeah.
So,
by definition, they're called mercenaries. You know, like there's a game that came out years ago on PlayStation, if I'm not mistaken. It was a mercenaries hired contract hitman, just like Hitman Agent 47 Hitman. You know, perfect examples in reality, because those are just video games, but which are insightful because a lot of these games and movies, like the brother just brought out, they basically have a lot of hidden symbology. They have cryptic messages inside it for the people who are able to discern it out, that are spiritual enough, you know. But in reality, you have groups like Blackwater, like I think EX, and certain other groups. They're basically private companies of a well-trained Delta Force type hitman, or they're well-trained when it comes to setting off bombs, being snipers, doing hits, killing people in different countries, different locations. And it was historically proven that they were basically hired by America to do dirty work, basically, man. You know, and that's what it is. You got hitmen like that. They call them black assassins that go around. They're usually foreigners. Sometimes they're Americans, sometimes they're foreigners, and they do hits for the higher luminaries within the wicked Illuminati. Today, as we know it, is the elite banking families of 13 so-called Jewish families. You know, so you bringing out something else too?
you want me to read the?
Yeah, Khan. We're gonna go ahead and go to the scriptures, and we're gonna touch on this famine of word, and also bring out more information on the side as well too. You got it.
All right, this is Amos 8 and 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord.
Start from the top.
Behold, the days come, saith the Lord God, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord.
But hearing the words of the Lord, man. And we know, show the Bible. The words of the Lord are contained in this whole entire book right here. Also including the Apocrypha, which is a part of the Holy Bible. You didn't have to even have a side book because it was in the King James 1611 as a whole, you know. So when you read the Apocrypha, the prophecies in the Apocrypha is a part of the Bible as well too. So people out there that don't understand, like, you know, what is that extra side book the brother had? Pretty much this book that he just showed, this was part of the prophecy of the Holy Scriptures that was in the first translation of the Bible in English. So of course it's a truthful and accurate authority. Okay? But pretty much this Bible, this book contains the words of the Most High, from the commandments, the law, statutes, and judgments of the Lord that he put to govern civilizations and humanity here on earth, precisely with the nation of Israel, then down to all the other nationalities and ethnicities. All right, all the historical accounts of morality among Israelites when they were doing good, when they're doing bad, back in the ancient world. And of course, the prophecy, man, the prophecies that we know that have passed, and the prophecies that are yet to come to pass today, and the prophecies that are currently underway that are taking place upon the earth. This is the word right here, man. These prophecies that we're touching on right here in the book of Amos. Okay, the word of the Lord is this gospel. The good news is that by prophecy, the Lord has already set for Babylon the Great, which is the United States of America, to be destroyed. And eventually, in domino effect, the whole chain sequence of Esau, the Caucasian Edomite devil, having his power being taken out of his hands, out of his control. And then for coming afterwards, we're going to have Israel come into power, come into control. And of course, the Israelites are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and also the Israelite confusion to face foreigners that are around the whole entire worldwide globe. Okay? So, you got the next precept?
Yeah, but before I get to scripture, I wanted to talk about this article that I saw.
Gotcha.
And the headline is, "Control of the World Wide Web was handed over to a new world order controlled organization last night."
Okay.
It was posted on October 1st.
And the website is yournewswire.com. You can just go on Google and type in New World Order sees World Wide Web. That's all you got to put in.
It says this organization is making it answerable to international authorities such as UN, and it's a multi-stakeholder body that includes countries like China and Russia.
So they all got basically their stock, so to speak. They have their money invested into this, which is going to make a whole lot of money. And by it having multiple countries, you know, it makes it to where it's just not all in Esau's control as what it seems, even though it really technically is. You know, so that makes it to where it don't make confrontation and make the other nations say, well, y'all got control over the internet. Well, so, okay, y'all got control, y'all making money off it. Now they are making money off it. They don't want to say anything about it, you know. If internet did get shut off, it would be shut off in their countries too. But the governments wouldn't give a fuck. Why? Because they got that stakeholder in it, those stock, that money.
And like whenever somebody has they hold a stock in a company, they get a say so in like what goes on. And countries like China and Russia, they don't let them have certain freedom. Like they don't let them have freedom of speech. Like they're not allowed to talk about certain things. Like in China, they don't even allow them to make movies about certain things.
Yeah, and they call them tyrannical type governments. You know, what's the term when they get those countries? They say a country that restricts a lot of rules. Cause you got republics, and then you have these type of countries.
Fascism.
That's another term for it. But it's another term they use for these like countries like Russia and all that, where people are restricted a whole lot. Well, that's on point. You know, even though that a portion of them aren't Israelites, and these are supposed to be heathen nations, as we know it. They have rules, restrictions, and regulations, just like the Lord's law, statutes, and commandments, and just like how we have within camps, rules, orders, laws, and registrations. So, like the brother was bringing out, they can't just make any old video in China, man. Well, if you had a person that's sick and tired of the Chinese government, then they make a video saying how fucked up China is and include a lot of proof and evidence for that. Then it gives America a reason, a justification to gather all European countries and to basically invade China and take it over. So that's smart for that, man.
And then I googled the organization, which is ICANN, or it stands for Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And their slogan is "One World, One Internet," which goes to show that they're controlled by the New World Order.
Yeah, let's see if we try to get that on there real quick.
Let's flip. So
you can see right there.
It's gonna be mirrored to me.
Okay.
I tried doing that in one video, but
you get right there where you see ICANN, and the slogan is "One World, One Internet." Come on, man, showing your face, man. New World Order, one direction, one path, and wickedness. That's their wicked New World Order. Okay.
But yeah, and it says on this page that it's a non-profit organization, but yet people still have bought stock in it.
Yeah. Not knowing exactly what the hell it's supposed to do. It's supposed to bring about this end. When a famine of the word takes its place, man, that means it's going to be no longer any of us out here teaching the prophecies. And that's a sign that the Most High is about to make his next big move, which is basically getting this economy to collapse, which happened recently with this whole thing with the oil. You had a pipeline that broke. I think it goes from Texas all the way throughout the southeast up there to New York, and it basically broke out there in the in-betweens of Alabama and Georgia. So there's like a pipe leak, which I think out there in central or north central Alabama, and you can see photos on the internet where you have basically rivers out there that's black. It's like pitch black looking because the oil has polluted it. And what that has caused for all that oil being transferred underground and all that, man, it's causing money to skyrocket for gas in a lot of these southeastern states. Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, as far as we know right now, eastern Tennessee and all that, man. I believe perhaps Virginia and West Virginia as well too. So that's showing a sign right there. You had this issue for a long time. It's going to cause a lot of financial problems for people. Gas prices may just skyrocket up beyond LA, Los Angeles portions for the cost of gas. And in California, for a cost of a gallon of gas is $5, sometimes almost $6, if not over $6. Imagine if it gets way out of hand, like I said, and then you got to pay $10 for gas. Imagine it gets higher than that, because imagine you need fuel for the super diesel fuel, which is the tractor trailers, the 18 wheelers, the big rigs that transport all the groceries across the whole entire country, that transfers meat and all that. If that becomes an issue to where they can't afford gas, then you already know what's going to happen. It's not just going to be a famine of a word. It's going to be a famine of people's food, man. And that's going to cause for all lawlessness to break forth into American society. People going to do what they think they have to do and what they want to do and what they will do just to eat, which is kill each other. Even if it comes down ultimately unto damn cannibalism, not just killing you for some goddamn cookies, Chip Ahoys and Oreos and shit, man. They're going to kill your ass to eat your leg. And it's going to start off very, very horrible. They'll keep your ass alive and chop off one leg one day, then chop off the other leg the next day, and then chop your arm off the day after that, and chop your other arm off on the fourth day and shit, man. And then slowly start eating any other part of the body before they just go ahead and kill you off and consume all that, They're gonna make a damn neck bone mill out of your ass with your neck. You know, 'cause Judah down south. I don't know, the Wheaties, do they mess with that? The neck bones?
I've never heard that.
Yeah, that's Judah shit, man. Judah eats some nasty ass shit. The neck bone is referring to that pork. They actually chop the pig's head off, and it's meat on the neck and the collarbone area. And they basically eat that nasty shit, man. That shit's so disgusting too, by the way. That shit is terrible. You got something?
Yeah, this is Jeremiah 30:7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it.
Read it from the top.
Jeremiah 30:7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but
Even the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay? We were just touching on this, what's going to happen in a sequence for America's downfall. The economy is going to crash. There's going to be hyperinflation that's going to come about as the economy is getting messed up to the point it's verge of crashing. Okay? And you're going to have all these other prophecies set forth. Prophecies of pain, suffering, and conclusively death, destruction. You got the famine, the literal famine. You have the pestilence that's gonna destroy a lot of crops and people physically, biologically, physically. You're gonna have the plague, which is the all-out biological warfare, or what the Mossad makes it appear up here in America, like Zika and all that, or chaga bugs that come from Central America and all that shit that bite you and gives you AIDS-like symptoms and you deteriorate and die off. The even biological warfare. Because like I mentioned earlier, you got in these movies that Esau allows to be put out. You know, you got in these movies where they basically show you zombie outbreaks and a zombie apocalypse. You know, the government, like in Resident Evil, the video game series, they're secretly manufacturing some type of biological disease. And as you see in every zombie movie, the similar element is that there's a town that gets infected, usually because the government makes some type of disease. It gets out, everybody gets infected. They quarantine the city off. Basically, they put up garrisons, borders to block people from leaving and entering the city. And after a while, they just go ahead and nuke the whole entire city so the disease, the virus won't spread. Well, that's what's going to happen here to America, man. You know? And not just because of a biological warfare that's being waged by the government, all right, by the elites of Esau. That's gonna happen in general.
And in the World War Z, the so-called Jews had their wall built up right when that happened. So they knew about it beforehand.
Yeah. Where you hear that from?
I watched the movie. It's on the movie.
Oh, you put it together? Okay, all right. Yeah, that's on point right there, man, brother. Hey, in that movie, them so-called Jews, just like in 9/11, them fake ass scum rats, man, they called in and told all those Jewish relatives of theirs still here in America, or if they were already in America, you know, to don't go to work in the trade center towers that day. And they didn't go to work that day. So what happened? You know, a lot of Jews lived while the rest of the Goy died, man. All right, whether they jumped off buildings and landed to their death, smacked their head off a 100-foot fall into the concrete, or whether they just burnt up because they didn't have the heart to jump out the window. Okay? And some died from what we know as the implosions. Those bombs that were set off inside the building. But you have the implosions in the middle parts of the building and of course at the base, which made those towers go down demolition style. You have something else?
Yeah. But before the famine of word happens, the elect has to be sealed, and that's what this scripture is talking about.
Go on.
This is Revelation 7:1.
Hey, matter of fact, go back to Jeremiah real quick. I'm going to tie that in, Revelation 7. Because, hey, the time of Jacob's trouble was getting there now. Famine, biological warfare, and what's going to occur in these streets is civil war, and there's going to be racial wars, racial tension, and then ultimately World War III. Okay? You're going to have Jacob that's getting tired, Judah, namely, and any other Southern Kingdom tribes that still had the Negroid appearance, like you got Haitians and Jamaicans and other Caribbeans in this country. They're going to go ahead and get mad because you got a lot of Esau and even Wheaties too in these police departments that are killing off basically Judah. So they're going to get upset and they're going to say, okay, we're going to have a race war. We're going to start fighting back and all that. And they're going to go at it. There's going to be deaths on both sides. There's going to be a lot of niggas killed. A lot of confusion of face niggas killed, and Esau is gonna get jacked up in the process too. But then what's gonna divide all that bullshit is when the economy crashes, then it's a free for all. It's gonna be any and everybody killing everybody, man. If they think you got food, you're gonna get killed for it. You know, for most of these peons here in Babylon. You got it? The rest of it?
You want me to read verse 8?
Just the last part.
Alright. Wait, verse 8 or?
Yeah, but you should be saved out.
Okay. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it.
Now, Ty, we're in Revelation 7.
Okay. This is Revelation 7:1.
Because it said that Jacob was going to be saved out of it. And now the brother about to read right here in Revelation the 7th chapter about Jacob's salvation, pertaining specifically to the elect, which is the 144,000 number. Read on.
And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads.
And you can even say symbolically that like the trees represent the green, the life, the elect, and then you have the sea, which is referred to as the nations, being in the multitude of the sea, but then you have the great multitude that's going to come out of her, not just Babylon, but out of the nations. And that's referring to confusion of face Israelites that look like different ethnicities, different nationalities, other than the aboriginal, so to speak, or the indigenous, so to speak, Israelites that are spoken of in the Bible. Okay? What verse were you on? You on the 3rd verse?
Mm-hmm.
Read from the top of the 3rd verse?
Saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads.
That's right. And when that's done, that's basically the spirit of the Most High is going to be sealed into the soul, the mind and body of the elect Israelites. The spirit is in the brain, it's in the head. The highest form of energy that's been transferred as a stream from the Most High is inside your head, inside of your brain, going into your pineal gland. Okay? That's why when your brain receives damage, but it's not damage to a certain part of your brain to where you don't die, you can still be alive. You know, because that spirit, the spiritual portion of energy is still going to your brain, but it's just not as strong as it was because the antenna is damaged. And the physical part about it is that the elect are going to be given the spiritual powers, because 1 Corinthians 15 chapter says they're going to get the celestial bodies. And that's the intermeshment of the spirit and the body combined that's going to be enhanced by the Most High, man. The elect are going to receive those celestial bodies spoken of in 1 Corinthians 15. You got the precept?
This is
Matthew.
You shall hear of wars and rumors of wars.
You can start from the top, matter of fact.
From verse 1?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is Matthew 24, verse 1. And Yahushua went out and departed from the temple.
That's right.
And his disciples came to him for to shew him the buildings of the temple. And Yahushua said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another.
Yep.
That shall not be thrown down.
That's right. The disciples came to him and they asked him a question concerning the end, and he answered them according to the prophecies, the signs of what you're going to see in the last days. Because that's the tie-in with Jacob's trouble. This is the trouble that's coming right here. We read out the scriptures. We're not just telling you it. So we're going to prove by God's own words, you know. Read on.
And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be?
Mm-hmm.
And what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world? And Yahushua answered and said unto them,
When it said A little Issachar, I think. When it says the stone shall be cast down and shall not be one upon another, that's the total destruction of all monuments, of all buildings, and all that around the whole entire world. So no more Clark Tower, no more of the U.S. Bank building in Los Angeles, none of that shit. All that shit is coming down, man. All right, because the building's only supposed to be built a certain amount of stories. Any otherwise, it's a mimicry of the Tower of Babel, which the origins for the Tower of Babel being so big was it was supposed to represent an erect penis. All right, so the Giza pyramid is going down. All those ziggurats around the whole entire world, which are phallus symbols out there in China and all that. The little Aztec shit out there in in Mexico and Central America, all that shit's gonna be brought down. You got it?
Yeah. Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many.
And that's right. There you have it, man. You have a lot of people today that say that they are Christ. They claim to be Christ. Like you have some nutcase out there in Florida that was talking about that he's Jesus brought back. But the prophecy was, when you read in the book of Acts, the first chapter, he was going to return back with the angels. But soon in Matthew 10:34, he's going to come to send a sword, not peace. He didn't come to send peace, but a sword during that second coming. You know, you had you had Jim Jones out there in Guyana. You had a lot of them simple ass Caribbean Benjamite style out there. It was really the woman, the dumbass woman, man. The Israelite woman is a fucking knobhead, man. You know, they basically was listening to this guy because he was a smooth talker like Joel Osteen and the rest of them false prophets and shit today here in the U.S. And he tricked their ass into drinking that cyanide-laced Kool-Aid. And but before that, to show you how dumb they are, how dumb the Israelite woman is, he told them to bring all their most expensive jewelry and all their cash, withdraw all the money out their accounts, and he's about to do something or whatever. They gave it to his ass, they drank the Kool-Aid in celebration, and then they died. And he went to fucking Europe and got caught. You know? You got false prophets like that. He claimed that he was Christ. You know? Anybody that say that they're sent by the Lord but they're teaching lies, those are basically false prophets that are claiming to be Christ or saying they're of Christ, deceiving many. The scriptures say don't be deceived by them, man.
Well, Christ just means anointed, so.
Yeah, and what they say, I'm anointed to teach the word of God. The black pastors and preachers, you know what God say. Get the scriptures. You know we're the prophets of God. And you got to give me some money so you can get to God. I'm closer to God. Or you won't get those blessings. The more money you give, the more money you give off, even if you're broke, you're poor, you're going to get closer to God. And those fucking biscuit mouth, fried pork chop, fucking goblin ass pastors, man, they live luxurious. I got an uncle who's a so-called pastor. He has a damn church in South Central in the slums, in the ghetto. With all them niggas out there, you know, all the Judah and South Central and shit, man. They all flood to his church. They living in the slums, trying to buy heroin, crack, all kind of shit, man. You know, they have issues with their rent. They can barely pay it. But this mother effer is living out there in Orange County, which is a very elite suburbs in Southern California. That's really the property of so-called Jews. Because the Jews are out there very deep. Those fake so-called Edomite Jews, man. Wannabe Jews. They have their control and influence over all that out there. So he's living next to them in the hills. Living nice. 4 cars, down truck, some Mercedes Benz, got a big ass Harley Davidson. Nigga got a golf cart, like the little cart, the actual cart at his crib and all that, man. I don't know if it's like a Mercedes Benz or BMW is the label for whoever designed that golf cart. You know, he got like a damn, I think 2-3 story home. You know, he got 2 big long ass computer screens in this house, man. Got a whole library of DVDs on the wall, like literally. You know, this dude, he has money galore. You already know he got that 501c3 charter code. But you know, he says that he's of Christ, like the brother brought out, because Christ means anointed. That you think that he was selected and chosen by God, but he's one of those dudes that's being warned about to not believe him, man. Okay, many should say that I am Christ, or that they're of Christ, and they should deceive the hearts of many, but not the elect, though. Read on.
And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom.
There you go, man. You're gonna have wars or rumors of wars. You keep on hearing rumors of wars that might be possibly coming down with North Korea and South Korea, North Korea and Japan. And guess what? South Korea and Japan are allied with America. America receives a bulk of its technology, like all those little electronics and shit, from Japan. If North Korea attacks Japan, that's basically a declaration of war against America. You know, there's a lot of electronics that they get from Japan, a lot of inventions and all that, and they're real close. Ever since Hiroshima and Nagasaki, because America punked them into submission, and so the North Koreans are like, we not like Japan, we ain't like them niggas over there. We gonna fight back. You know, they feel offended that America has done that. Then you have wars or rumors of wars. You have pursuant to the prophecy, this tension between America and Iran. And there's already a tension since the Cold War with America and Russia. Everybody brings that about and talk about World War III. But don't understand that World War III is in the Holy Scriptures by prophecy. That it's referring to Armageddon. That's the World War III. When you go into Revelations, it tells you that there is one woe that is past, and there's another that's going to be accomplished. That's talking about World War I and World War II, and then you got the third woe. That's World War III. It coming quickly. I kind of roughly paraphrasing, you know. The word woe means destruction. It means basically calamity, distress, and ultimately destruction, man. That's what it simply means. Read that part right here. Read the scripture again at that verse.
For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom.
That's nation against nation. That's ethnicity. Those are races. All right? Because everybody hates Esau. Everybody hates Esau because he's the rural police. He goes into other people's lands, other people's countries. He go inside there with unjustified reason to go in their country and to attack their people, to bomb them. And he basically did that to put them in submission. He takes out the leader after claiming they did some treacherous act of war, you know, treason. They did some tyrannical shit, but then they kill them off, like Gaddafi, like Muammar, whatever his damn name is, out there in Egypt. Osama bin Laden, no, not Osama bin Laden, Saddam Hussein. You know, they're all leaders of their countries, and the things they were doing weren't necessarily wicked. They were just trying to, for the most part, use the gold as the real currency instead of relying upon the American dollar in their countries, you know. So what they do, they went over there, they killed them off, saying that they committed acts of war, they were going to do some terroristic shit, and then they went ahead and start taking the mineral resources once they got over there, after they set up a new puppet government of Arabians who sold out and joined the Illuminati, whether they Masons or whatever sect of the Illuminati that they're basically in. You want to say something?
Yeah. What they do is they they'll put, you know, like like what elders talk about is pressure from above and below, and then they have the answer.
Yeah, order out chaos. Order out of chaos. Which chaos means destruction. You got it.
What they do is